Alrighty, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Ball Knower podcast. It's an actual podcast episode this time. I'm joined by Andrew for the first time in like 34 years. So
Yeah,
first of all, Andrew, how are you today and where the fuck have you been?
I'm so happy to be back. I crunched the numbers. It's been a month and 23 episodes of the podcast.
It's
Well, not,
crazy.
not the 23 team previews.
Yeah.
Um, well, my life has been real busy. I play high school varsity soccer for my high school that I go to. So, and we do summer conditionings, and that is complete hell. It's like one of my least favorite things that I have to do in the entire world. So literally just like a nice evening of running till you puke. But yeah, that's what I've been doing instead of coming on this nice little podcast and talking about stuff I actually enjoy.
My God. High school sports are hell. I'm so glad I quit before I got to high school because I don't know if I could have played for coach that will not be named.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think that would have been the death of me.
I will clarify just in case they see this, just because it's gotten so big now.
215 subs,
I
yeah.
know.
Averaging like 20 views a podcast.
Yeah. I do like playing soccer, just so we're clear.
He hates it. He hates everything about the sport.
Yes.
No, that's me. I'm the one who hates everything about the sport of soccer. Which, by the way, I meant to tell you, I had somebody come on here for the Buccaneers team preview, and he's a massive soccer fan, and he wants to come on and talk to you about soccer, not me, because I don't know anything. So it'll be like when we talk about football and you sit in the corner and don't say anything. He wants to do that.
Oh God. Oh God.
He's like diehard into it too.
He's definitely doing more than I am. I have too much ground to cover to like actually get into it as much as I would like to. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I don't know a damn thing about soccer. I can't remember who I was talking to, but like a month ago, I determined I can name like 3 soccer players, and one of them is retired.
which one's the retired one?
David Beckham.
Good.
And I only know his name because I was little and I was like, hey, David.
David.
Yeah. Yeah. And other than that, I can name Messi, but I don't know how to say his first name. Is it Lionel?
Lino.
Lionel. Okay.
I don't really know. You don't
Messi.
Yeah,
And then who's the other guy? It was Messi's teammate.
Teammate. Oh yeah.
Like the big name one. I know of him, but I can't remember his name.
Do you want me to say it?
Yes.
Neymar.
That's the one. Neymar. Sounds like a Marvel character.
Well,
Mainly because he's a Marvel character named Namor.
I was literally gonna say Neymar and Namor.
Yeah, because he's in Wakanda Forever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we haven't even talked about the.
Oh, the Marvel shit that came out. Yeah, we were sitting here before the podcast, didn't know what to talk about. There's a lot of Marvel shit that came out. Speaking of Marvel, this is the thing I was telling you about beforehand. Did you hear the news about Into the Spider-Verse?
No, but now I'm a little giddy.
Ben Reilly's confirmed to be in it.
You're kidding me.
Swear to God. So Ben Reilly's confirmed for it. Spider-Man 2099, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's confirmed to be in it. Miles Morales, Ghost Spider. I think Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker is going to be in it. And there's rumors that Tom Holland and Toby and Andrew Garfield are all supposed to be in it. That one is less confirmed, but Ben Reilly and it's Miguel O'Hara. That's Spider-Man 2099's name. They're both 100% confirmed. So that's your boy, right? That's your favorite Spider-Man.
That's literally my favorite of my favorites.
I was watching a video the other day. It was like an hour-long video, and it was the entire history of Spider-Man in the comics. And I finally learned like the full backstory of Ben Reilly, and it's actually pretty cool.
It is sick.
It's really cool. I still stand by the fan theory. I don't know if you've heard this, or not the fan theory, like what people wanted was Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, since he doesn't really have anything to go back to. They wanted him to get stuck in the main MCU and start going by the name Ben Reilly and be the Scarlet Spider.
Oh my god. Oh, wishful thinking. Oh,
Wouldn't that be incredible?
That would be insane. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of Marvel, I am way out of the loop. I have not seen Doctor Strange. I have not seen Thor.
Oh my god, we're the same person.
I watched the first 3 episodes of Miss Marvel and didn't get to finish it. And then She-Hulk dropped today and I haven't watched it. But I need to watch it because Matt Murdock is confirmed to be in She-Hulk. And I'm very excited for that. And they also announced that the Daredevil show is happening at the Disney D23 or whatever it's called, the expo.
Yeah.
And it was at Comic-Con, I'm sorry. But that's hype as shit. They confirmed him and Kingpin are back for it, which hell yes. See, look at that. I can handy mute. That's great.
Wow.
I know. But yeah, they're confirmed to be in it, and I think it comes out in 2024, and it's supposed to be 14 episodes, so it's a longer Marvel show, which is awesome. I'm so pumped.
Perfect.
Yeah, apparently they're trying to force Daredevil into everything in Marvel right now because he's supposed to make a bunch of cameos throughout the next phase, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be amazing. What else am I missing? What else did they announce?
Well, Wakanda Forever, of course.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
The Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars being 2 Avengers movies. Kind of sick.
Yeah. Kang's a cool villain.
Secret Wars is the one I'm more excited for, just literally because it's there's so many possibilities of how far they could go.
Secret Wars, they can fucking bring people back for.
Yeah.
And they can bring in people we could see Toby and Andrew come back. I don't think Toby would do it, but Andrew Garfield absolutely could and probably would.
Yeah, I was going to say he definitely will.
Yeah. And they can bring in they can do characters from alternate universes too, how everyone wanted Tom Cruise Iron Man to be in Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
They could do that. They can bring in the animated versions. But live action, do Miles Morales. Maybe I think that's how Miles gets introduced in the comics.
I think so too.
So I think that's probably what they'll do.
Yeah. I need him in the MCU at this point. I need him and the Prowler.
The only bad thing is when Miles comes into the MCU, I can almost guarantee they're going to kill off Tom. Because Tom Holland's already kind of talking about quitting acting within the next couple years.
Really?
Yeah, he said a couple months ago. Maybe I misinterpreted it, or maybe he said something more recent. But he was like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this forever. At some point, I'd like to stop." And he was doing it early.
That's not good at all.
No, but who knows? Maybe that was a little overblown or something. I'd hate to see that though. I'd like to see them together.
Yeah.
What else? Fantastic Four is coming, but we already know about that. The fan casting for that's been fun. I like the fan casting people are coming up with. The Thing, everyone's saying it's gonna. Oh my god, his name's gonna escape me now. He's a comedian. Shit. He's in Is he in I Love You, Man? I think he is. Yeah, it's him and Paul Rudd. What's his name? Jason Segel. That's his name.
Oh.
Jason Segel. Couldn't remember his name for the life of me. Yeah, people are that's the favorite fan cast for The Thing, and Rudy Pankow from Outer Banks is the favorite for the Human Torch, which would be fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm excited. Marvel's going in a good direction. Really excited.
I've seen a lot about people are complaining, and I wanted to make a TikTok about this, but I was like, this is way out of my league to explain in a 3-minute video. The issue with DC movies was that they were trying to have these really big stakes without really setting things up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of effect that people want these new Marvel movies to be like the DC movies, not on purpose, but they're this is so boring, none of this big stuff is happening. But it takes time to build up. They're not realizing that the stakes in phase 1 movies weren't high.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta build the background with them introducing so many new characters. You can't just throw them out there and be like, "Oh, guess the world's ending already." You gotta be like, "This character had this backstory. This character." Yeah, I agree completely. Because imagine if they would have went that with the original route. The Avengers is the first movie. There's no background on Iron Man or Cap or Hulk or anybody. It's just these are the Avengers. Like that would have sucked. Nobody would have liked that. And that's the problem. I agree completely. Speaking of DC, they're a clusterfuck right now.
Oh, yeah.
Not just with Ezra Miller, but the thing I'm really pissed off about is they canceled Batgirl, which sucks.
Wasn't it really far into development too?
I think it was finished because they lost like $90 million. No, it would have been more than that. They lost a lot of money on it. And like they said it wasn't going to be profitable enough, which is bullshit. Like it's exactly what you're saying. It was going to be a down to earth Barbara Gordon story in Gotham, and they were just like, nah, fuck it. Like, I don't get it. Like Batman wasn't going to be in it. There were no other characters. It was supposed to be about her, and I think Commissioner Gordon were supposed to be like the main two, and that would have been awesome. And oh my god, I feel terrible. I cannot remember that. Is it Leslie Grace? Is that her name? She was in The Heights.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's Leslie Grace. Yeah, Leslie Grace. I was right. Oh no, I was wrong. Batman was supposed to be in it, but it was going to be Michael Keaton Batman, which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
That's really cool. So, like, it would have been an awesome movie, and they just completely scrapped it. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, real bad.
Mm-hmm. And then that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But that's such an absurd thing to do. Like you are done a movie, and the only reason that you're not releasing it is why? Like just release the movie. You're done the movie. It doesn't matter. You might make the money back that you're losing.
Yeah, but it's because the DC brand is so in the gutter right now because of the movies they've already released, and then the other individual we'll get to in a moment. That I guess they're like scared of having another negative thing on their track record, but I feel like this is worse than the movie flopping.
Yeah.
Like that, especially because, and a lot of people have pointed this out, they made Batgirl not white, which is like new. They made Batgirl a Hispanic woman. And now they just cancel the movie? Like, what the hell? That's really messed up.
Yeah, that's way worse.
Yeah. Like, I would rather look like a commercial failure than a racist personally, but I'm also not a multi-billion-dollar corporation, so maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am.
Yeah.
Like, maybe, but I doubt it. But the thing that really worries me now is I've been begging for a solo Nightwing movie for years. And if they're scrapping Batgirl and scrapping like half of HBO Max, I don't think that's going to happen ever. And that makes me incredibly sad because that means the only only three adaptation, no, 4, 5, there have been 5, was the shitty Batman and Robin movie in the 90s, which I don't count because that's barely Robin. That's not Robin. That is a kid that just happens to share the same name. You have Batman the Animated Series, which was great. You have Teen Titans, which isn't even confirmed. Young Justice, which is incredible but just ended. And you have Titans, which completely butchered the character and is about to get canceled. So, like, you have the best, like, one of the best superheroes ever, one of the most popular superheroes ever, the greatest sidekick of all time. They're just throwing him to the curb. He gets no love. Like, Zack Snyder killed him before the movies even started. Like, just really grinds my gears. And then, yeah. And then there's the other menace, Ezra Miller, who just apologized for their actions. But
I don't even know what's going on with them. You're gonna have to give.
Oh my god, they were like committing assault. There was something about like them grooming an underage girl.
I did see that.
Because I didn't know that at first. Because originally I thought they were just being an absolute menace, like beating the shit out of people in clubs and They broke into somebody's house, assaulted them, and left. Didn't steal anything. They were mocking the police, like on Instagram. They posted a selfie and were like, "They're never gonna find me." Like all sorts of shit. And originally, I thought that's all it was, so I made a tweet jokingly, like somebody did something. I said, "If one more person does this, I'm going to become the Ezra Miller of NFL TikTok." And somebody, geek, sent me a DM and he was like, "Hey, did you know this happened? Maybe you shouldn't say that." It was just like Ezra Miller was grooming a minor and like tried to start a cult. And I was like, maybe I'm not going to do that.
Give me a minute, I'll delete it.
No, I didn't delete it. I followed it up because apparently Ezra Miller also assaulted a grandma. So I was like, I'm not going to do everything they did, but I will punch your grandmother.
Good landing. You stuck the landing.
Yeah. I salvaged it. But that's the thing that's going on. And they just came out and gave like a half-assed apology and checked themselves into rehab or something. So it's over, I guess. We kind of missed out on like the fun of it.
Yeah, the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, we're just kind of here at the end, like it happened.
It happened. Why did it happen?
I don't know. I don't understand it. I just realized I didn't ask you a question at the very beginning of the video, and we're now or podcast. We're like 17 minutes in, so I'm gonna ask now, Andrew, who's the GOAT of basketball? Because I saw you made a TikTok about this the other day.
It's Jordan.
Okay.
But it's getting, in my mind, and don't be mad, it's getting closer and closer as it goes on.
I agree. But I think LeBron would have to win another MVP or win another championship for that to happen.
Yeah, that's always.
And spoiler alert, it's not going to happen. It's not. LeBron's not even a top 5 player anymore. I would say there's an argument to be made that he's like 9 or 10 at best. And the Lakers are a shit show. That's another thing. We completely missed like the Lakers being a shit show and also Kyrie being like, I want to be there for some reason.
Yeah.
Which the Nets are in fucking shambles, dude.
Yeah, I know. I've seen like I've screenshotted this today because I want to talk about it on my TikTok. Like Stephen A. saying that the Nets are like a top contender in the East, and they're like absolutely not. Kevin Durant does not want to play a game for your team, and you're not going to trade him. So you're literally just going to be your team with Kyrie half the time. Kyrie's
not going to play for them either.
Exactly.
He wants out too. KD, I saw a report where some like NBA executive said that Kevin Durant would sooner retire than play another game for the Nets.
Yeah, and that's not something you want to hear when you're the Nets.
No. Especially when you're asking, what was it like? Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and like 5 first-round picks they asked the Timberwolves for. They asked your Celtics for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum and picks. Like, they either need to come off their high horse or realize it's like I don't know. They need to get value out of Kevin Durant at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's either you trade him or he doesn't play. You don't have an option anymore. So realistically, since you're the basketball man here, where do you think KD would go? Where do you think he would fit best?
I see that he wants to go to like Miami, and I think that they have a pretty decent package. But if I'm Miami, I'm not trading for him for the package that the Nets really want, because that'd be like Bam, Tyler Hero.
No, nobody's going to trade for what the Nets want. The Nets are going to have to settle.
Exactly. Like they could. If I was the Heat, I'd want him for like a package of like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, like 3 firsts.
And I think that's completely reasonable. At this point, when you have a guy who's basically going to retire if you don't trade him, 2 young assets and 3 first-round picks, that's a solid return.
Yeah.
Like, you got to get something. You can't just sit on it. It's not possible. I agree. I would like to see him go to the Heat, mainly because I want Jimmy Butler to get a ring already. Like, that would be fantastic. Let Jimmy – or I don't know. How do you think that lineup would work out?
I don't really know the specifics of that, but like I feel like the team around KD would be fine. Like their defense is good enough already, where the only issue would be like they don't have enough scoring. Like they have like Jimmy, Bam, like Struess, Kyle Lowry's defense is pretty good. But then if you add like top 6 or 7 player, not only, but like mainly because of his scoring for like bench pieces, then you get even more of a boost.
Yeah. Yeah, because, I mean, this is a team that was in the finals, 2 years ago now?
Yeah.
You had Kevin Durant to that team. That is the favorite to come out of the East, I think, at that point. I think they would be over the Bucks. What else is going on in the NBA? I know we got to talk about the passing, but like, has anything else big happened?
Not really that I know of, but like recently my brain just has not retained sports information.
I forgot you have a life and like responsibilities and real things you have to do, and I can just sit on my ass all day and watch preseason football. Like I don't have any responsibility until I go back to school the 29th, and even then I don't really have responsibility because half of my classes are like I have a graphic design class, for Christ's sake. Like that's hold on, let me double check what I have. Because I know graphic design's one of them. I have a history class, which, I mean, history's like my thing. I have... What the hell is that? I don't know what that is. I've got my IDIS class, which mine is like the pursuit of happiness or something. So I'm going to learn how to love life, even though I already do. So they're just going to be like, hey, be positive. And I'll be like, okay. And then I don't know, it's a hour and 15-minute class. I don't know what I'm going to do for the other hour and 14 minutes. And then I've got a class on like the rules and regulations for broadcasting, because I'm doing the communications thing. But like my schedule is not that bad, and I don't have a job, and I won't be working a job, which I know you're looking into getting a job, which is insane. Like you're not a fetus anymore.
It's okay. I'll be 18 in like 3 months.
Oh my god, really? Yep. You're right. Oh my god.
Yep.
How old does Daniel turn this month? Is he 15 or does he turn 15 or 16?
I think he turns 12.
No, he's older than that. He's a little bit older than that. He's got facial hair now too.
Yeah, he has a little mustache.
Yeah, he's got a little something going on. I was snapping him and Chris the other day because they went to Disney. But like, he turns 16, doesn't he?
I think 16 or 17.
Oh, ew! I'm old.
Yeah.
I really don't like this. I need to learn how to cope with aging in my pursuit of happiness class. That's what they need to teach me. Because all of the children are becoming adults. What does that make me? I'm still not an adult. I'm not.
It's okay. It's okay.
Dude, listen. Okay, unrelated to everything. We can talk about sports in a second. I saw this TikTok the other night that blew me away. So this woman, she's a child counselor, right? She does like therapy for young children. And she had to write her like paper that she had to write to graduate college. She had to like research a topic and present it and back it up with, information and whatnot. And hers was on how larger children, not older, but bigger in stature and size. And obviously I paid attention because I am a large individual and always have been. Those children are forced to grow up quicker by society. And then once they become their own person, typically fall backwards into being more childish and or goofy. So like early high school, late middle school, they're forced to grow, like they just are kind of grown up, because when we're looking at young kids, the little kids are the ones that, want to people want to coddle and, pay attention to and baby. And then bigger kids, especially young boys, are taught at an early age you got to be a man and cope with things like a man and deal with it like a man. And as someone who had a beard my freshman year of high school, like, that's a real thing. So I looked at that, and then the first thing I saw when I looked up from my phone was a Batman poster, and then I looked to my right and there was a Pokemon Funko Pop. I was like, hold on, she might be onto something here. Because, like, it makes sense, right? Because our society teaches young kids, or kids that look older, especially young boys, that they need to grow up quicker. Like, for example, I'm lucky enough to not have this situation, but like if my dad were to leave, I would be told I'm the man of the house, even at the age of like 10, right? And because I'm bigger, that's what it's going to be assumed. Or like when you go out in public, as creepy as this sounds, there have been people that have mistaken me for my dad, or at least my mom's husband, multiple times because I look a lot older than I am and I present myself to be a lot older than I am. And because of, things that happened when I was younger that I'm not going to get into, I do feel like I had to mature, at least in terms of how to handle things, maybe not in how I present myself at a younger age. And I mean, you can vouch for it. I'm a fucking doofus. Like, I'm a goofy fella, for lack of better words. And I think anyone that we know would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I know, like, and have for a while, when to like crack down and be the man and be serious and whatnot. And I don't know, I'm just going on a tangent at this point, but it fucking blew my mind. And it makes sense because you see a lot of these like geekier individuals on social media and whatnot. And what are they? They're always big dudes with like big facial hair, or, your neck beards and whatnot. And it makes a lot of sense. And it's really weird. And I don't like it.
I was going to say, from like a young age, you're not supposed to have like self-image issues, but like if you are a bigger kid, then people are going to make fun of you.
Right. So you have to mature and learn how to handle that quicker.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, like I said, I'm not trying to make this an exclusive me thing, but we've all dealt with our traumas, and that required some people to grow up a little quicker than others. And I fall into that category as well. So even if you don't want to pull like the bigger kid out of it, if somebody has to grow up quicker than they should naturally, then they are going to fall back into being more immature, which, like I said, explains why I am 19 in my sophomore year of college, making videos on a dancing app about football, watching Pokemon in my free time, and why I have this on my bed. This wasn't my idea, at least. This was something I got. Someone gave it to me, but like, still, it's still there. This is a full ass Charizard, just chilling.
That's sick.
Yeah. And like, it's not my room right now. My little sister's playing on it, but like, that's all I've done in my free time recently is play fucking Pokemon, because I got the new Madden 23 and I can't play it yet because there's something wrong with the servers. So I'm so down bad to play the new Madden that I started a new Pokemon save to name all of my Pokemon after famous fullbacks. I wish I was joking.
That's so on brand. I can't even believe that.
It is. That's become my brand, like, to an incredible extent over the summer.
I know. I've seen the video.
I know you have, but I just think it's hilarious.
I mean, and like, it's your trademark. That's what brings.
I'm the fullback guy now. Yeah, and it's so funny because I never played fullback. That wasn't me, but there it is. That's a thing. That's my thing now. Like, the Bears tonight during the preseason game, their first touchdown was scored by a fullback, and my Twitter dimensions went ballistic. I was bombarded with somewhere Miller football is smiling, somewhere David is enjoying himself. Did you see that touchdown? Or fullback touchdown? Like, it I love it. It's incredible.
That is so
yeah. And now I'm pushing towards 10,000 on TikTok, and once I hit 10,000, I'm dropping a ranking of every fullback in the NFL.
I saw that, dude. You are going.
Yeah.
Shooting off.
Yeah. I just wish the YouTube would pick up a little bit more. That's the only downside.
As far as I'm concerned, the YouTube is picking up because the last time I was on the podcast, we had 150 subscribers. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, true, but the videos or the views have been weird. They've been very up and down, which I don't like, but
Yeah.
the sub count's going up.
Steadily.
Yeah,
Steadily.
steadily. I want that moved. I don't want that sitting back there.
That's so funny, dude. His little head was poking up.
All right, well, I'm going to do this before you start talking because I don't want to seem tone deaf. I was going to wait until you start talking, but I'm about to ask you about something serious, and I don't want that to just pop up while we're talking about Bill Russell.
Okay.
So, like I said, we need to buck down. No more goofing off.
Yeah.
Bill Russell passed away. Very unfortunate. And the league announced another player or any player that's not currently wearing number 6 will never have that opportunity to do so, and any future players, which is awesome. I love that they did a league-wide retirement of the number 6. It's like the MLB did that with Jackie Robinson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So they're like the second professional sports league in the U.S. to do it. But something I saw, and I want to get your thoughts on this because I think it's just a different situation. A lot of people are mad that the NBA didn't do it for Kobe. And I think it's a completely different situation.
Yeah. Maybe it wasn't as impactful as Jackie Robinson's was, but it's still an African American in a time where he was being very discriminated against, like in the whole world, basically, succeeding multiple times, more than any other person in the entire history of the league, against all odds. I mean, like
Yeah.
it's completely different because like Kobe was played in a very well established, like no more of this like Bill Russell probably like left an arena and got so many racial slurs thrown at him.
Yeah.
So
Bill Russell played in an era where every single game was basically played against the current Celtics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kobe, I mean, I'm not saying he didn't deal with it because as an African American in America, you're going to deal with it. But Bill Russell obviously dealt with it a lot worse in an era where it was a lot less common. Yet he persevered, like you said, 8 championship rings, went on to be a very successful head coach. And even after that, he was just a very important figure in the NBA. Even after his playing days, even after his coaching days, he was just always there and has been for the longest time. And he's one of the founding fathers of the game. Like, all respect to Kobe. May he rest in peace. But Bill Russell's impact on the league itself and the sport of basketball as a whole was a lot bigger. And again, I mean no disrespect to Kobe by saying this, but if you're telling the history of the NBA, you can leave Kobe Bryant out of it. But with Bill Russell, you can't. You physically cannot. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Steph Curry, and now Giannis. Those are pretty much the primary names you need to tell the story of the National Basketball Association. Because for all intents and purposes, Kobe was just MJ 2.0. And I mean, there's just always going to be copycats, and Kobe's the most successful copycat of all time.
Yeah.
But he's still a copycat, and you can't. He's just not quite up to par with Bill Russell, unfortunately. Now, did they do anything else, or was it just the number 6 retirement?
I don't quite know.
Okay.
I only read that he did die and that his number was retired.
Yeah. So, like, I read that at first, and I got kind of upset because I thought every player had to give up 6, like that's currently playing. Because I really want to get an Alex Caruso number 6 jersey. I know that's kind of selfish, but like 6 fits Caruso very well.
I was gonna say I'm kind of concerned for like LeBron, who made this whole big deal about switching numbers to 6, and then all of a sudden he wouldn't be able to wear it. But they're doing it in a very sensitive way.
Okay, now that you say that, I really wish they would have just retired it in general because I want LeBron to suffer. That fucker just signed a 2-year extension too.
Oh yeah, that's my prediction completely went out the window because I said that he was going to go to whatever team Bronny went to. Nope.
Well, isn't Bronny draft eligible in 2 years?
I thought it was 1 year, one more year.
Maybe that's the first year he's eligible, but maybe Bronny's planning on doing 2 years of college.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I mean,
Because all the reports I saw, or not reports, but like the responses I saw were just LeBron's going where Bronny goes now. So maybe we're off on our timeline, or maybe I misunderstood it.
yeah, I mean, if anybody's going to know the timeline of when Bronny's getting in the league, it's going to be LeBron. So
Yeah.
I think that he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. And then speaking of Bronny, did you hear about Skip Bayless?
Oh my God, yes, that is it's so sad. It genuinely is.
Listen, I think it's funny. I love Skip Bayless. His hatred of LeBron is something I could only dream of achieving. Like, I know everyone thinks it's sad or whatever. I think it's legitimately hysterical. Like, I found the tweet. I don't think I've ever seen, or I don't think I'd seen the full tweet up to this point, but he said, "Hey, Bronny, impressive, but your dad would have dunked it left-handed. You sure got away with it, though."
Yeah.
Like, listen, that's funny. You can call him weird all you want. It's funny. Skip is a character. He knows what he's doing. It's strategic, and it's funny as shit. And as someone who hates LeBron and will subsequently hate Bronny, I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it is beyond hilarious. And I think Skip deserves more praise for his hatred.
It is definitely on brand for him, but like, it's a kid. You're like, he's like 50
Listen,
plus. And he's
okay, I get that, but Bronny's what, like 17, 18 now?
Yeah.
And he's in the public eye like that. He can handle it.
Yeah, he definitely
He can handle Skip. This isn't like hordes of fans calling him the N-word. This is Skip. It's nobody fucking takes Skip seriously.
it's crazy.
He probably went to school the next day. He was like, "Bro, check this out. Skip Bayless tweeted about me," and everyone was like, "Yo!" Like, that's the reaction he probably had to Skip. Not, "Oh man, Dad, he sure got me. What will I ever do now?" Like, no, he doesn't give a fuck. It's Skip. The only people who care about what Skip Bayless tweets are the people who get weird and ride LeBron's dick and are like, "Stop insulting the GOAT." Shut up. You're 12. You don't know what GOAT means. I hate children on social media.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say something else about the NBA. Something. Oh, who are the two rookies that are going at it? It's
it was Paulo and DeJounte Murray.
Yeah. Did you see all the nicknames they were giving DeJounte Murray?
No.
They were calling him like cock muncher because he posted about Paulo like 6 times in one day.
Jesus.
Ballsack Sports, I think, on Twitter tweeted out. He gave him like the cock muncher award, and that's his nickname on NBA Twitter now.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I think that's hysterical.
That is hysterical.
And I'm surprised it's those two and not Chet that are getting this shit, because Chet's a cocky motherfucker, dude.
Yeah.
Chet goes crazy with it. That's another thing. Have we talked about basketball since the draft happened?
No, I don't think so.
No.
There's not really much, and that's the issue I've been having on my TikTok. There's literally like the only thing you can talk about is like, well, Kevin Durant wants to leave the Nets.
You could learn and talk about football.
I've been trying to, but like at this point, I'm interested in like soccer and baseball and football.
But it would make my job easier if you just learned.
It's so hard to understand.
Like, I want to talk about the intricacies of the NFL preseason, and it's just going to go over your head. Like, I want to sit here and talk about the Bears' second string and third string defense dominating the Seahawks, and I'm going to list off names, and you're going to be in fucking la la land.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm also going to credit that to the fact that the Giants are awful and have no vision.
yes.
Like, I'd be so much more into the NFL if the Giants were like, good.
Did you hear about Evan Neal's first preseason game?
Didn't he get like swamped?
Oh my God, he was horrible.
Yeah,
He was
done.
dog water, dude.
I'm done. Like, what else?
But
I
the
was
good
like,
thing is, listen. It's the first game of preseason. It happens. Jamar Chase, you know Jamar Chase, right?
of course, yeah.
He had a bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Listen, he had a really bad camp in preseason last year, and look at him. Look at him now. He's a consensus top 5 receiver.
Yeah.
Evan Neal is like going to be a franchise tackle for the Giants. He just had one doo-doo water bad football game. Speaking of tackles, have you heard? Do you know who Trevor Penning is?
I've heard of him. I've heard his
He
name.
was the tackle the Saints drafted in the first round.
Yes.
Did you hear what he said?
Oh God.
So during an interview, somebody asked him, "What's your favorite part about playing football?" And he stopped for a second, and he got a big grin on his face, and he goes, "Legally assaulting the person in front of me." Like, that's so cringe. It's so cringe. And then the first 3 days of training camp, he got into fights with his teammates and actually got kicked out on the 3rd day.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He thinks he's him. He really
does.
does.
After saying that, he was probably like, yeah.
Yeah. He probably heard that from a coach in like middle school, and he's been using it since. Like, I don't want to get too dark with the jokes here, but he that comment gives off like pumped up kicks down the hallway vibe, if you get what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, right?
No.
You've never heard the song "Pumped Up Kicks" by Foster the People?
I don't know, but the down the hallway part is what's
like listening to that while you're walking through school. You know what the song's about, right?
Yeah.
Right. So listening to that while you're walking through the hallways at school, thinking you're on demon mode. Like, that's the vibe I get from that comment. Like the overly edgy kids that think they're funny when they joke about crazy shit. Yeah, it's cringy. But like I said, he got kicked out of practice the first 3 days. Or I'm sorry, he got into fights the first 3 days of training camp, and they got kicked out on the 3rd day. Because he was what he was doing, if you watch the clips, like in training camp, you're supposed to go 100%, but you're also like not supposed to try to hurt the person in front of you. You don't play through the whistle on your teammates, basically. And he was doing just that and putting people in like headlocks and throwing them to the ground during like basic drills. Yeah, it was bad. And eventually the coaches were like, all right, get the fuck off the field. Yeah, he's insane. And then he had a really shitty performance the first week of preseason, but PFF gave him a really high grade because he had like one really good run block. And everyone went ballistic over it. It was the whole thing. Yeah. Speaking of football, I'm sure you've heard that there's a very specific individual whose jersey I may or may not be wearing that is currently having issues with the team he currently plays for. Have you heard about this?
No.
Roquan Smith, you haven't heard about that?
I heard about that. I was just making sure.
Yeah. So I want to go on a little rant real quick, if you don't mind. I know you don't, but I would like to. So, so basically the situation with Roquan is he wants to get paid, and as most free agents have done this offseason, he wants to reset the linebacker market, which is totally valid. He's a top 5 player at the position, and he deserves all the money in the world. Chicago has the money to pay him. But he does not have an agent, which is crucial because when you have an agent, they can buffer out all the personal aspect of it. Because when it comes down to contract negotiations, you're basically telling a person their monetary value, which when you think about it is kind of fucked up, which is why you have that agent who's the middleman to cut out the personal aspect of it. Because it's not like you're telling somebody, hey, I think you're worth this much. It's like, hey, I am willing to pay your client this much. And then the agent who doesn't do the personal shit can be like, I think they're worth a little bit more. Well, Roquan doesn't have this agent. And Chicago offered him a record-setting deal, but it was very technical. Like, it would reset the market, but Roquan wouldn't be getting as much money as it said he would because a lot of it was in like bonuses and incentives, and it was backloaded and all this kind of stuff. So Roquan, thinking the Bears were trying to shiest him, trying to give him a cheap deal, got upset and released a statement requesting a trade. But it's a negotiation tactic. It's the same thing Debo did to the 49ers. And people are losing their minds over it. And I can tell you right now, first of all, Roquan's not leaving Chicago. He has been with the team every day since he requested a trade. He was at the game tonight on the sideline with his teammates. He was at the last game on the sideline with his teammates. He's been at practice every day with his teammates. He's just not playing and not full-blown practicing. So he's doing a hold in rather than a hold out, which is a great sign, because if you're holding in, that usually means you want to stay there. You're just standing your ground. And the reason he got so upset is that first contract offer is always going to be not good, because that's how negotiations work. The GM lowballs you, you come back with your offer, and then ideally you meet in the middle. Well, Roquan is being, for lack of better words, kind of childish about it and refuses to meet in the middle. So it's kind of a back and forth. But I can tell you right now, a deal's going to get done. The Bears, either Roquan's going to crack or the Bears are going to crack. I think it's going to be Roquan. They're going to sign a fair deal, and Roquan's going to be with the Bears for a long period of time because his position in our new defense is very important. All right, I'm done. You can resume being a part of the conversation.
It's very insightful.
Thank you.
You dumbed that down enough that I could understand.
I wasn't trying to dumb it down, by the way. I was just explaining, and I'm glad I was able to dumb it down. I wanted to pull up a quote real quick. Just to what's the word I'm looking for? Transition into the next talking point here. Adam Schefter, who we all hate because of him just kind of being an insensitive dick, said something really insightful today about a certain player that just got suspended for 11 games. He said the Browns owner Jimmy Haslam said today that everybody deserves second chances, but people who get second chances don't usually get fully guaranteed $230 million contracts. And if that isn't the most accurate point I have heard about this entire thing, I don't know what is. Because it's the truth. The dude got fined $5 million. Do you know how much of that contract that's worth, Andrew?
I don't know the percentage off the top of my head.
2.17%.
Jesus Christ.
2.17% of his contract is being taken away. It's sickening. And I know we've talked about it a lot on here, and I don't want to be a broken record and start rattling off the information we all know by now. But the fact that the NFL caved, because that's what happened. They wanted to push for a year plus, but they realized the NFLPA would take them to court, and they didn't want to deal with it because Roger Goodell has no backbone. So it was just like, okay, we'll meet in the middle. And do you know who Deshaun Watson will be playing in his first game back, Andrew?
No.
The Houston Texans. The team he was just traded from. Now, do you think that's a coincidence, or do you think that's a ratings ploy?
Probably a ratings ploy.
Exactly. Now, you said before we started recording, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. I saw this take on TikTok. The fact that they give him any sort of ban at all shows that they see that what he did was wrong, but then they stop it when it doesn't benefit them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because he did this terrible thing, and you admit that you agree with it by giving him the 11-game ban, but then you don't push it as far as you should. There's so many cases of it. You're just going to give him 11 games. He should be banned for life for what he did. And you're like, yeah, he should, but we're only going to give him 11 games.
Yeah. Did you hear any of what the judge they had preside over the case had to say?
No.
Well, she described Deshaun Watson's behavior as predatory. Those her exact words. And she said it was more egregious than any case the NFL had faced up to this point. So even the woman who gave him the initial 5-game suspension, that was or 6-game suspension, I'm sorry, that was horrible. She admitted that Deshaun Watson did something disgusting. And she was 100% on board, but because the NFL had set a shitty precedent, she couldn't do any worse, which I thought was stupid. Like, you set your own precedent in that situation. I get that, like, I guess I shouldn't say it's stupid. I get where she's coming from, but I wish she would have taken the initiative is the better way to put it. And that's kind of the whole thing with this entire situation. I wish somebody would have taken the fucking initiative and done the right thing instead of just being like, well, that's too hard. Our hands are tied. Sorry, bud. Like, it sucks. It's disgusting. I absolutely hate it. I can't stand it. And the NFL should be ashamed of itself.
Yeah.
Did you hear the Browns owner's comments today?
No, of course not.
So, in the middle of being questioned about the situation, right? Being questioned about, this victim said this. What do you have to say about it? This woman said this, that kind of thing. Their owner stops because it was Watson, the GM, and the owner at the press conference. He stops and says something to the effect of, hey, folks, listen. This kid, Deshaun here, is only 26 years old. He's a hell of a football player. How fucking ignorant do you have to be to make that your standing point? You have a quarterback with 30-plus allegations. And your response? Well, he's a hell of a football player. It's disgusting. And then I think my favorite thing about the whole situation is Steelers Twitter is obviously having a field day. And they're all saying stuff to the effect of, like, Deshaun Watson should be banned. The Browns should be ashamed of themselves. Browns fans should be ashamed of themselves for supporting a sexual predator quarterback. Like, yeah, you're right. But what did you guys just get done doing for 17 years? Where was this energy when Ben Roethlisberger raped 2 people, not sexually assaulted, full-on rape 2 women? Not to say that one is worse than the other. But where was this energy then? Why were we not saying the same thing about Big Ben? I just hate it. It's awful. It's disgusting. Yeah. And like I said, I don't want to sit here and sound like a broken record because we've talked about it so much on here, even though it's been a month since we've talked about it. But it's just awful.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. Do you have anything, Andrew? Is there anything you want to talk about?
No.
You've been gone for a month and you couldn't even come back with one topic.
There are so many things. There's so many things that there's too many things,
Well, how about you find one things and talk about one things for the last 7 minutes here so we can make an hour-long podcast?
Well, I'll just give myself a little preview. I'm currently writing a script for a Stranger Things review. It is the first script I've ever written for anything, so it is going to be bad. It's going to take a really long time, and it's very hard. It's much harder than it sounds on YouTube because Stranger Things is a very hard show to write with because it cuts around so much. And so please just hang in there while I try to figure out what to do. I say that I was writing it and that I wanted to make it like a month ago.
Yeah, this is true.
And now that I'm like getting into the nitty-gritty of it, I'm working.
The gritty?
Stop it.
Hold on, Andrew. I have a question.
What?
Do you remember what we said we'd do for 100 subscribers?
Yes.
So instead of doing about the damn time, can you just hit the gritty just one time?
Right now?
Yes.
I have to change my camera angle and all that.
Yeah. You come on. We promised the people something, and that was 100 subscribers ago. We doubled our subs in that amount of time. We gotta. Oh my God, he's gonna do it. Oh my god. He's gonna. Oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, he's gonna hit the grid. This is the whitest thing ever, by the way. Put some effort into it. There it is. Oh my god, that was so white. That was incredibly white.
This is my formal resignation from the podcast.
Fuck, I guess I'll have to get a new co-host. I'll go get Elite Takes. Nico can be my new co-host.
No.
And I can talk about football more often. I can actually talk football.
No. When we get to 300 subscribers, you have to do something. That's the trade-off.
Okay. But what do I have to do?
I don't know. We'll figure it out. Leave a comment. Leave a comment.
There you go. Leave a comment what I should do for 300 subscribers. It's gonna be something with a fullback. I'm gonna have to like.
It definitely will.
I'm gonna have to like get in full pads and perfectly execute a fullback dive on camera. That's what that's what they're gonna want. I'm gonna have to get in touch with the Frostburg State University coach. Be like, hey, just for like 20 minutes, I can't talk. Can you like throw me in some pads? Let me run a fullback dive with the ones for the one time. He's gonna tell me no and tell me to fuck off. And I'm gonna be like, well, sorry guys.
How are you?
I don't know what you want me to do. Okay, we got 4 minutes until you hit an hour. Andrew, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Were you a Pokemon enjoyer growing up?
I am a Pokemon enjoyer now.
Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Rhyperior.
Rhyperior?
Or Nidoking.
So you like them big spiny ground boys.
Exactly.
Nidoking is elite.
I'd be a ground type gym leader if I could pick one.
Giovanni had ass.
Okay.
No, I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what mine is. I know it's basic, but I don't care. It's the best, objectively.
Yeah, he is sick.
He is awesome. What was the most recent Pokemon game you've played?
That I've played? I played Pokemon Arceus, but like that doesn't really count.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Do you have a Switch?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like right there.
Yeah, I have. Well, mine's not right there. My sister has it, but I got my dock right there.
Yeah.
I've been playing through Brilliant Diamond. That's what I've been playing, the Diamond remake. I've got a pretty sick team. I've got a Torterra. I've got a Crobat.
Oh.
I've got Arcanine. I've got a Poliwrath. I've got a what am I missing? And I've got an Electivire. That's the other one.
Oh my god.
I think there's something else in there. No, that's 6. That's my 6. It's pretty sick.
Yeah. Torterra is probably top 2 starter for me.
All my top starters are fire types.
Really?
Yeah. What?
Who's your top starter?
I mean, Charizard, obviously.
What? Why did I forget that? Jesus Christ. What am I saying?
My second's Typhlosion, though. That's the first Pokemon I... Well, Cyndaquil is the first Pokemon I ever had.
Cyndaquil's adorable.
What?
Cyndaquil's adorable.
I thought you said horrible, and I was about to shank you.
I said that so casually. I said...
Yeah, just like, Cyndaquil's horrible. Like, that's the type of statement you end a friendship over. You do not insult Cyndaquil.
I understand.
Yeah. I love Pokemon. I have been going in on it. I'm even rewatching the anime right now.
Really? I need to watch X and Y, I think, because that's my favorite.
I haven't seen X and Y yet, but I watched all of the new one, The Journeys. It's great. It's great. It's really good because, like, first of all, Ash's team is sick. He's got, like, actual comp Pokemon. He's not just running around with, like, a bunch of pre-evolved starters that have a bunch of heart. He's got, like, a Gengar and a Dragonite and cool shit. And then all the old characters just, like, pop in, which is really cool. And they get to go to all the regions, and he's competing in a tournament to be, like, the best trainer, and he's in the top 8 against all the champions from all the regions right now.
So sick. That is sick.
It is really sick. Did you know he won a Pokemon League?
Yeah,
That's the thing. He won a Lola.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
finally. I mean,
I can't
like,
get over that. And then he just dips.
yeah, like, what do you like? You have a responsibility now. What are you doing?
Right, because like in the Pokemon lore, it's established that like the champion of the region is supposed to take care of it.
Yeah,
Like in the new game, Sword and Shield, their champion basically acts as like their police department, fire department, infrastructure creator. Like he does everything. And in the old games, it's like that too. Ash is just like, nah, I'm good, Chief.
nah, on to the next.
Yeah, I'm him. I'm simply above this. I don't got time for this shit. I gotta go catch more Pokemon. It's wild. It's a great show though. I don't like anime very much, but I love Pokemon. I fuck with Pokemon heavy.
I heavy. Like, look at this. First of all, I've spent hundreds of dollars on Pokemon. This is a Game Boy Advanced with Pokemon Fire Red in it. I bought the Game Boy Advance to play.
Legendary.
I have a 2DS with I don't even know what game was in it, but it's not in there anymore. And then I have a 3DS with Cloyster on it because I played in 6th grade.
Dub.
My favorite Pokemon in 6th grade was Cloyster.
Why was it Cloyster?
Don't know. Now that I look at him, I'm like, what?
I was gonna.
Yeah, and I also have another one.
I don't know.
2DS.
Oh, I didn't mute myself. I thought I did. Shit. Oh well.
You
Very
did
on
play-
brand.
and then you unmuted.
Okay. Yeah. I only have the Nintendo Switch, so I don't have the luxury of playing all the old Pokemon games, sadly, as much as I wish I could. I'd give anything to go back and replay Heart Gold. I mean, I would give anything. That is my favorite Pokemon game of all time, easily. Although the new games are great, and then the new game coming up, I'm really excited for.
What are they called?
Scarlet and Violet.
I'm excited. A new generation, dude. Like
Yeah,
Galar was there, but I didn't
Galar. Yeah,
but it was there, but I didn't have a Switch at the time, so I couldn't like play it.
I love it. I've probably played through it 5 or 6 times. It's great.
The
The story's actually legitimately like decent.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. But I've seen some leaks for the new one, and apparently the fire starter is going to end up being a fire ghost type,
Sick.
which is dope.
Sick.
Because, like, you know, the region's supposed to be, like, I think Spain is what it's inspired. Like, it's inspired by Spanish culture, but I think it's actually supposed to be, like, their equivalent of Spain. And I think it's going to play into, like, the Day of the Dead. Or no, that's Mexico. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But, like, still, Spanish culture is very big into honoring their dead, right? I don't remember much from Spanish class.
I was gonna say I don't want to.
I know I'm probably being really insensitive right now, and I'm very sorry for that. I'm just trying to remember what I remember from Spanish class, and all I remember is the tea of the teacher, not the actual contents.
Yeah.
I can't remember the teacher's name for the life of me, but the one that was awful, not the racist awful one, the other awful one.
There are so many awful guys.
I'm talking about the ones at your school.
Yeah, there's only 2.
Yeah, not the racist awful one, the other one. Because they were both apparently terrible people. Even though I liked the one, but I found out through someone that we were in choir with that maybe you remember the story, that she was very homophobic.
Jesus. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's probably one person that was in that choir that would have been very outspoken about someone being homophobic and like threatening to fight them.
Yeah.
Which I love her for that, by the way.
Yeah.
I haven't seen her in forever. I miss her. She's a wonderful person. But the teachers were not wonderful people.
It's wrong.
No. Because you had one that was a bigot, and the other one was anti-vax.
Great.
Not just not COVID anti-vax, before anti-vax.
Yeah.
And she brought her kid to school all the time, which I can talk shit about her because I don't go to that school anymore, but I'm leaving out names for your sake. Because I mean, you're not saying anything, but I don't know if you can get in trouble or not.
No, I'd get arrested, I think.
Arrested? No. I mean, I might see them in public and get a very awkward conversation, but like, I'm safe. Although Mr. Football Man might come after me. He's the only one I think I would be legitimately concerned about.
I was gonna say he might be able to throw you against a wall.
I wouldn't go that far. He's not what you think he is. You might think he can do it, but he can't. He's not that guy. He thinks he's that guy, but he's not.
He's not that guy.
He's not. He's not that guy at all. Simply put, he's not. Him? No. No, he's not him. God, I miss high school.
Yeah, I do.
I don't want to go to college in 11 days or whatever it is.
Less 10, right?
When do you guys go back?
4 days, I think.
We go back the 29th.
Golly.
Yeah, so I've got 10 days. First day of school, I need you to tell choir teacher that I miss them dearly.
Okay.
You can remember to do that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's literally on video, so.
Yeah, because we all know you watch the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're basically watching the podcast while we record it at this point.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean that with love. I'm not trying to shit on you too much. But yeah, I think we're done. I was trying to stall for an hour and I stalled 7 minutes too long, unfortunately, which, it's quite on brand.
It's fine.
Yeah. So that'll do it for this episode of the Ball Knower podcast. It was great to be back talking about not just some individual team. I've got like 5 of those left to put out, I think, which is wild to say. Like those flew by. And then once they're up, football season will be starting soon. And we'll probably have guests on, so Andrew can sit in the corner while I talk about football. I'm kidding.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I just want to know what's going to happen if I try to, or if we do that. We have someone on to talk football, and they just try to like force you into the conversation repeatedly.
I mean, it's kind of happened before, and I think I've held my own.
Right.
I'm just going to learn more about it, I guess.
Yeah. I want to interview more people. That's what I want to do. Like, the Bears have a fullback that scored a touchdown today. I know I've mentioned that like 3 times, but I'm super pumped about it. Jake Tongas is how you say it. I feel like he's, I don't want to say this to be disrespectful, but he's a small enough name to where I feel like he would legitimately come on.
Yeah.
And I think that would be quite swell. I should also try to get in contact with Clint again, because he is working his ass off coming off an ACL tear. And I want to know how that's going. So I don't know. Fun things are coming for the football season, whether it's the podcast or side videos or anything like that. Tons and tons of content is coming your way, in the words of Bladen Kirk. But yeah, that's going to do it for this episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. We're pushing for 250 subs by the start of football season, so that will be cool. And make sure to leave a comment down below. Let us know, what was the question, what I should do for 300 subs. That's what we're going to ask. And also, let us know your favorite Pokemon. I know this isn't the first video we've asked that, but I want to know.
Yeah.
Let us know your favorite Pokemon. And if it's not Charizard, you're wrong. But anyways, oh, by the way, I forgot to say I came up with an outro now. I have an outro. We're moving up in the world. Yeah. So to Andrew and to everyone out there watching, I hope you all have a wonderful day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day it is for you. I hope you enjoy it, because you're all wonderful people and you deserve it.